Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Classic Gamer 74. Looks like I'm live tonight. Let me turn this up a little bit. Okay, everybody, so welcome to my live stream. I wanted to come on and say thank you to everybody for 600 subscribers. It's really, really great to hit that number. Yeah, it's also next month will be my 5th anniversary. I'm really, really excited about that. It's been, 5 years. Hard to believe it's been so long. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing this, and I've met some really cool people and stuff. And so I'm looking forward to see who's going to come on tonight and see what you guys want to talk about. So, but yep, like I said, 600 subscribers. So a big thank you again to everybody. If you guys are wanting to do Patreon, I'm going to be having some cool videos coming up on there. I am working on some of the adult games for the NES. There were a couple. Oh gosh, yeah, I know if I find anything. But there was a couple NES adult games I'm going to be doing on the Patreon. So possibly even a collab with somebody. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But oh, thank you very much. Isolation Disorder, one of my longest subscribers. Thank you very much. It's always nice to see you. Get this adjusted a little bit. So yeah, some big plans coming up. One of the biggest ones, like I said, continue on with the NES unit that we're in now. I didn't realize there were so many ports. I know some people said they were surprised with the large number of prototypes, but I was surprised how many arcade ports there are on for the NES. Because at that point in time when the NES first came out, I remember that when you look at the Famicom games, that of course Donkey Kong was like one of the first ones that they ported. And the funny part about that is that it doesn't have the Pi level. There's actually very few ports of Donkey Kong that have the Pi, what they call the Pi level. I've also heard it called Cement Mixer. And there's very few that have that. Honestly, I think the Commodore 64, one of them does, because there's like two different versions. Oh, good Lord, pop-ups. But the Commodore 64 has like two different versions that have the Pi level, as it's called. And the reason that Nintendo said that they didn't put the Pi level in is because when the Famicom came out in 1984, they were still making money off Donkey Kong, and they said that they were afraid to have a complete port because they said that people wouldn't go out to the arcades to play the game. So funny, it wasn't even until a couple years ago that I didn't even know there was a Pi level, because I never made it that far. And then I was playing it, I'm like, wow, here's an extra level. And of course, like I said, none of the ports. But growing up, the only port I had was the 2600. And of course, that, yeah, we're not even going to get into that, because. But anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, about the NES ports. Yeah, I just did an episode about NES ports, and when I was making the list, and it took me days to work on it, there were several, and I don't think I even got them all. But yeah, I filled up like a whole page. You can see here that I filled up like a whole page of stuff, and then of course I was getting into the margins here, but there are quite a few. I mean, there are some I didn't even know were arcade games. So there's going to be quite a few. That's going to be probably another few episode. Yeah, I understand. I agree the same way. Because I was around, when I was young too. We really didn't. I didn't really care that the ports weren't all that great, because like for instance, as a kid, I really wasn't good at the arcade Donkey Kong, but then when I was just so happy to have a version of it I could play at home. So I was just very, very happy to have it. And I didn't care that it wasn't identical because, like I said, I wasn't that really good at the arcade games. So I was just kind of like, "Yay, I have Donkey Kong," you know. And the same goes for some of the other games too. Like for instance, I love Zaxxon, and I wasn't really good at that either. I love the isometric view and everything, but then when it got ported out to the 2600, I was so happy because I was actually good at it. Yeah. So back then, as kid, being as I think that was 1982. Yeah, 82 going on 83. And I was just happy to have them, period. You know, back then, I just was, I was like, oh, wow, I have Zaxxon or I have Donkey Kong on my Atari 2600. And I was like, okay, it's not like the arcade, but I actually am pretty good at it. So, it was a night, and it didn't cost me a quarter every time to play it. I didn't have an arcade nearby when I was a kid, but we had this grocery store in this town called Lowell, Indiana, and they had just a bunch of arcade machines in there. You'd go right into the grocery store, and there'd be this wall, and it was just filled with machines. And I always had begged my parents for a quarter because I didn't know beans. I always say this: I don't know beans about saving money. And but there was all kinds of machines. There was, like I said, Zaxxon, Donkey Kong, what was that one? Tempest. And Tempest blew me away because those vector graphics were just so amazing. Oh yeah, Bump and Jump too. I just love Bump and Jump. Interestingly enough, excuse me, I got my babies here. This is Mrs. Hughes. Yeah, Bump and Jump was a fun game, and incidentally, I'm gonna discuss the NES port. Well, not really. Yeah, I guess the NES port of it. It was originally a Famicom game, a Bump and Jump, where that actually has a story in it, and it has a you had to pick up gas. It's kind of cool. Yeah, Venture too. That's when I did my top 10 of ColecoVision. Venture was at the top for sure because I just love Venture. That was such an awesome game. I think out of all the ColecoVision games that I probably played the most, that had to be it. And then, Defender. Now, funny story about Defender. This just kind of shows how naive and young I was during the time of the video game crash. I didn't even know what was going on because, like I said, I was like 9 years old at the time when the video game crash happened. And all I knew was we went to KB Toys, really, really showing my age. And when we went there, they had a shitload of video games that were $5 each. A bunch of them. They just had a bargain bin just loaded with games. And my parents and I, we just started picking them. And then we went over to Sears, and they had their own version of the game, the Tele games that they called them, and they were like $5 each. So we just probably spent like $50-$60, and $50-$60 is a lot of money back in 83, 84, and we just bought a bunch of them. And Defender was one of those that we bought, and it was the Telegames version, which of course it's the same. And I remember we bought Target Fun, also known as Aaron Sea Battle. So yeah, that was great. That just kept us going for forever. You get that many games at one time, and it's like, all right, let's have fun. But yeah, like I said, I'll tell you, interestingly enough, I'm gonna do hold on a second, I'll get to Eunice. Rush Video. What's Rush Video? I'm sorry, I don't really know what that is. The Rush Video. Yeah, elaborate on that for me, please, if you don't mind. What was I saying now? I forgot. I'm old. I forget stuff. Yeah, but Tempest is such an awesome game. I mean, those vector graphics were just amazing. But boy, that prototype of Tempest isn't anything great. Um, yeah, I was kind of glad that didn't really see the light of day. Even though, like I said, when we were kids, we wouldn't have cared. You know, we're like, oh, cool, it's Tempest, band Rush. Oh, right, right. My bad. Sorry. Oh yeah, I love Rush. Oh, definitely. That's yeah. The world has really gotten darker after Neil Peart died. That was wow. But you know, his death didn't get the publicity that other people's death have. I mean, it was like I think somebody else died around the same time as he did, and it was kind of yeah, Neil Peart died, and you're like, what the fuck, man? One of the greatest drummers that ever lived, and one of the best songwriters that ever lived. But you know, okay. But yeah, I got into Rush. I didn't get into Rush till I was a lot older. But yeah, I love Rush. It's interesting how a lot of there you have a lot of those great Canadian bands or 3-man bands. You know, Triumph, Rush, uh, Klaatu. I love Klaatu. Yeah, I was just discussing them with my wife today because I was telling her about how you know for a while there people thought that they were secretly the Beatles. Their first album is really good. If you get a chance to grab that, it's really a good album. But yeah, it's funny how these Canadian bands have only 3 guys, but they come out with they have just amazing sound, especially like Rush, because you know Geddy Lee was just an amazing bass player, and he could sing, play bass, and do like kind of keyboard stuff with his feet. I mean, unbelievable. What a great band. Yeah, but so like I was saying, I'm gonna do a few more of those prompts. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's always great to hear somebody that liked Klaatu because you know it's one of those bands that you don't that didn't really get a lot of well at first because you know that whole thing people think oh they're the Beatles, and you know because I'll tell you that one of the singers in that band really sounded a lot like Paul McCartney, and of course they were on Capitol Records, so yeah that kind of like oh my god yeah it's the Beatles coming back underneath. They said the same thing about the Residents too, but so, like I said, I'm going to be doing the ports, the NES ports, and yeah, there's quite a few. And I'm going to also touch on I'm going to touch on the unlicensed. Oh boy, some of those unlicensed. Yeah, when I did I'm a prog rock. Oh hell yes. Oh yeah. So you're a few years older than me, but that's cool. It's always great to meet somebody who you know has the same musical taste. I love prog rock. Interesting, my daughter is a big prog rock fan. She just loves Yes. She is a huge oh fuck yeah, I'm so jealous. My daughter's a huge Yes fan. She loves that song Roundabout, and she's 18. She's going to be graduating, and she loves that song. I was going to take her to see the Residents because they were going to be in Chicago, and I thought it was going to be. They said it was like an art center, so I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm going to take JoJo to see him." And then come to find out it was at a bar, so I'm like, "Fuck." But yeah, I got her into. She likes prog rock, like I said. I got her into. Oh yeah, especially the early Genesis, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I got her into King Crimson. I got her the first album, The Court of the Crimson King, and she's like, I don't. She told me she goes, I didn't think I would like that, but I really like that album. But I played it on a loop. I just liked it so much, and I said, yeah, you know, it's a great album. So many talented musicians came in and out of like Yes and King Crimson. You know, Bill Bruford and um, hell of a drummer too. It's funny those drummers like him and Phil Collins, just amazing drummers. Really changed the style of drumming forever. Those you know those 2 guys. So yeah, and of course she likes Pink Floyd, but you know who the hell doesn't? So yeah, she was raised good. She was raised really well. Um, yeah, definitely. I really liked. I think it was called the Red Album when John Wetton was in the band and he played bass and sang. Because I remember there was this one song where he does this bass solo and it's like unbelievable. I think that was the Red Album. I think that's when Bill Bruford was in the band too. You know, they changed out members like every album except for Roger Fripp. That band was like a revolving door. So, oh yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you what's oh yeah, and it was funny as a kid. I heard that song about 100 freaking times on the radio, "Eye in the Sky." But yeah, that's just like a tip of the iceberg of the other stuff that they did. Yeah, ELP too, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Man, I was so sad when Greg Lake passed away. You know, Another great bass player and great singer and songwriter. So, oh yeah, but that's the thing about, unfortunately, some of our favorite musicians unfortunately don't live. I mean, I was sad really when Chris Squire passed away, because he was one of the people that inspired me to pick up the bass. I think at this point in time, I don't think any real founding members of Yes are even in the band anymore. So I know they got a guy that sounds a lot like John Anderson, but nobody can sing like John Anderson. That's my opinion, anyways. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So then I'm looking forward to doing some more of the arcade ports, because like I said, there are so many. And there's some, like I said, that when I did the list, I was like, oh, okay, let's try some of them. And some of them, they're just so spot on. When it come to the 8-bit arcade ports, they did a pretty good job. But then there were some that's like, ugh. There's a few of them that really just did not port well. But then of course there were some that were just amazing. And there were some that like some people didn't like, but I really did. Like, for instance, what is it? I'm looking at my list here. I don't remember there was one game that somebody really hated, and I actually really liked it. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank here. I'm looking right at the list and I forgot what it was. Anyway, that video will be coming up soon. But oh yeah, Jethro Tull too. Yeah, I was before I started I have some health issues, which is kind of part of the reason I don't really show me on the videos. I have an avatar, so I have some health issues going on right now. I won't go into detail. But my cousin wanted to get a band back, and we played in a band before, and he wanted to get a prog classic rock band going. And he's a huge Jethro Tull fan. He actually learned to play the flute because he was such a big fan of Jethro Tull, so he taught himself to play the flute. I tried, but it didn't work. I tried to learn. I just couldn't get my embouchure right. I guess it's because it's been so many years since I played a woodwind or brass instrument that I think if I actually had someone teach me, I could probably get my embouchure back, because I used to be able to play like anything made of brass back in the day. I'm just looking here to see what that game was, because that's going to bug me. What that game was that, like I said, I really actually liked, and some other guy, Heavy Barrel, that's it. Yeah, I really liked Heavy Barrel, and that other guy, I forgot what his name, that one big guy that's on another YouTuber, he didn't like it, but everyone's into, and it's interesting because like he does like those I forgot what his name is. I don't want to call out people's names because that's just rude. And he does NES ones, but he does NES. He looks at whole companies. Like, these are all the games by this company. Video games, like you'd say, just like I've been playing drums. Really cool. You like others. You just Pink Panther is hanging. Oh, hey, Prime Rib. Oh no, he's not really hanging by his neck. I got a string. So he's on by a string. And yeah, he's not hanging by his neck. It just, I wanted to hang him up there. I mean, boy, that just doesn't come out right. I didn't want to hang him, but I wanted to have him up there by a string. So yeah, so it's no symbolism or anything. I'm a big Pink Panther fan, so I wasn't meaning it to be like some symbolism or anything. But like I said, oh crap, let me put this back up here. You can tell this isn't the one I gave my daughter to, because the whiskers are still, and I got my daughter an identical one. So I was really excited, but that's not the one I have. I gave my daughter, I got her one that was identical to it, and I had to pull the whiskers out of it. Yeah, I know. It's just, it's rough having the health issues, because honestly, it's like, I don't know. It's one thing. If it's not one thing, it's something else. But I'm okay. Everything will be fine. Yeah, I'm excited about the MeTV Toon channel. Very, very excited. Oh yeah, because I love my classic cartoons. And since Boomerang pretty much is now what has just gone off Cartoon Network is now on Boomerang, so it's like, and then even when you watch the old ones, like I remember when you watch Tom and Jerry, they show the same cartoons over and over again. It's like, okay, whatever. So yeah, I'm real excited about the MeTV because there's some really good stuff on there. And yeah, I was just binge watching Pink Panther the other day. I'm going to do an episode on Pink Panther games too. I know you guys, some of you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing about Pursuit of the Pink Panther, but I just love that game. But there's other ones too. Like there's a couple PS1 games. There are a couple edutainment games that came out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing Pink Panther games. That PS1 game, what's it called again? It's Pink's. Of course, it's going to say Pink something, but I forget what it's called. Okay, actually, I have. Let me look. Hold on. I can actually put that on here. Where is? Let me share the screen here. Okay, well, come on. Here we are. Okay, here we go. So let me go on here. I think I got it's a PS1. Did I download it? I'm looking at Launchbox, which if you're an old school gamer, you got to get this and register. It's worth it. There it is. Pinkadelic Pursuit. That's it. Yeah, that's actually free. Oops. Excuse me. I'll turn it off. Turn that off. But yeah, that Pinkadelic Pursuit is actually pretty cool. It's a pretty badass game. If you ever get a chance to grab it or get the ROM for it, it's pretty cool. What is going on here? Give me a second here. There we are. Boy, that sure looks. Hold on a second. Let me turn that off because that's looking really kind of fucked up right there. What is going on? This is what happens when you get. Hold on. Let me turn this off. Okay, that's better. I don't know what the fuck that was doing, but anyway, yeah, it's a new cartoon channel. But yeah, I don't know if it's out yet or not. I think it's coming really, really soon, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, so like I said, I'm looking forward to doing the Pink Panther games. While I'm here, let me just go ahead. There's a couple that are coming out. A couple other videos I got coming out soon. Let's see. Also, I'm going to be doing one on well, I'll probably wait and do that one on the Sega Naomi. I just got that thing working. Boy, that was a pain. Yeah, getting the Sega Naomi to work was a royal pain. Luckily, I had another YouTuber that helped me do it. And I got a pretty decent gaming computer. So if you don't got a good gaming computer, it's a pain. Why? They should do a preview special channel like they used to back in the 70s. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That would be nice to have something like that, you know, definitely. I remember back, I think when Nickelodeon did something along those lines too. So, yeah, that would definitely be something to see. I was doing research too. I'm going to be doing probably, I don't know if I'm going to do it on YouTube or if I'm going to actually put it on my Patreon, but I got more disturbing games. I'm going to be doing more of those. So yeah, I got all kinds of stuff written down. Like I said, but the problem is too with my health issues I've had. You know, there's just times where I know it sounds weird, but then I just don't feel like up to really doing a real deep video. I just kind of, you know, I don't know. It just depends. But like I said, I've got a lot of really good ideas. I still want I'm going to do that pinball episode because yeah, I found a really decent game on PS4. A pinball game that's pretty cool, but then you got to pay extra for the tables, and I don't give a shit. I'm going to pay extra because some of those tables are pretty cool. But yeah, so and I can record game footage off of it. Nothing worse than when you purchase a game and you can't record game footage. I got this game called Drunken Bar Fight for PS4. It's a VR game. Check it out. It's really cool. Unfortunately, for some reason, it won't let me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. Don't worry. I just got a list, like a real freaking multiple pages long list of pinball games. But don't worry, it's coming soon. But like I said, that I was so mad because that game is so much fun. That drunken bar fight for PS4, and then it for some reason it wouldn't let me record the game footage. So I'm like, shit, because it's a lot of fun to play. I don't know why that is. My brother-in-law says he thinks it's because it's got licensed music or something in it. So I don't know, which is weird because then I can record WWE 2K. I can always record those, and they got licensed music in it. So I don't know what the hell. But anyway, what else was I gonna mention? But yeah, I got games based on movies too coming out. It include the Pinball RPG. Oh yeah, for sure, definitely, that's on the list. Oh, for sure, yeah. I've been doing a lot of research, so yeah, I pretty much I think that's part of the reason too. I kind of hesitated because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So, because I hate when I miss stuff. If I do like a themed episode and then I miss something, and then I'm like, shoot. Because dang it, I'm so tired of that stupid pop-up. He was telling me I'm changing locations, and I'm not. But yeah, I've been doing a research and trying to find more stuff. Also, don't forget, guys, I'm actually wrapping up my 4th Edutainment Gaming book. So if you haven't had a chance to grab these, this is the first one in the series. This is a guide to edutainment gaming, the early console years. This book covers, let me tell you, it actually covers edutainment games on the Magnavox Odyssey, the first one, Atari 2600. There was a shitload of them, thank goodness. Intellivision, Magnavox Odyssey 2, ColecoVision, and did a bonus chapter. If you get the book, I got the bonus chapter on the 5200 edutainment games, and you can see I got screenshots. So I put a lot of work into this, and as an educator myself, I really am a strong believer in edutainment gaming. So again, you can grab this on Amazon, like all my stuff. The second one is the second book. This is a guide to edutainment gaming 2, the early microcomputer years. This one covers let's see. It covers Apple IIe, Commodore 64, MS-DOS, the TRS-80, and ZX Spectrum and Amstrad CPC. So, yeah, like I said, another good one. And like I said, a lot of people that watch my channel, you got emulators at the house on your computer anyway. The grandkids or nieces and nephews come over, instead of just putting them on their phone, fire up your computer and put on, one of these edutainment games. So just some, that's the main reason I wrote these books, is because, I believe, and I am a proof that, how important, edutainment gaming is. Kids are going to learn more if they're having fun. Next one in the series, this is a guide to edutainment gaming 3. This is the 8 and the 16-bit years. So this, of course, is going to cover Nintendo, the NES, Super Nintendo. How'd that get in there? 8 and 16-bit, duh. Let's see. Yeah, Nintendo, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega, Sega Genesis, Sega Pico, VTEX, and VTEX Socrates. Which, don't ever waste your money on that. If you ever don't get the emulator, run it on MES. Do not spend money on the VTEX Socrates. I bought one and I couldn't get the damn thing to work, and it takes a bunch of batteries. Boy, I feel sorry for the kids, honestly, that, back in 87, 88 or whatever, and they, all their friends were getting a Nintendo for Christmas, and their parents got them a VTEX Socrates. Oh, poor kids. Anyway, 4th book is CD Game Systems. This was the most recent one that came out, and this one covers 3DO, Philips CDI, Sega CD, and Sony PlayStation. So, yeah, lots of good ones in there. Now, the last book in the series I'm working on right now, and that covers the computers from the 90s, like the Atari 8-bit. It covers Windows, MS-DOS, and Macintosh. So yeah, there are quite a few classics. Like, of course, the first one that comes to mind is Oregon Trail. If you haven't seen that playthrough I did of Apple IIe Oregon Trail with the puppets, check that out, because we all made it to Oregon and nobody died, which I would have never been able to do when I was a kid and playing it. But it was fun to do it, though. I mean, people got hurt and got sick. Of course, everyone got dysentery, but we all made it to Oregon in one piece, but we all made it. So that was just amazing. I mean, that was a lot of fun to make that. And it ended up being a long video, but it was a lot of fun. So, also, guys, don't forget that I have those, if you head over to my my Teespring store, you can also get lots of cool gear. Oh yeah, it is. Also, not only just Fast Gamer 7.4 gear, like one of my books here, this Bride of Blood. You can actually get a t-shirt of this, because I just love this cover. It cost me a lot of money to have it professionally designed. So yeah, I put this on a t-shirt and hat and cool stuff too. This is definitely not a book to share with the kids. Don't let the kids read. If you do buy it, and I would appreciate it, don't let the kids read this. This is not a kid book. Do not. Yeah, definitely not. But anyway, I got lots of kid books anyway. So, all right, I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys want to talk about anything in particular? I've been talking long enough. I mean, I'm not talking myself, but I mean, you guys have anything you guys want to discuss, or anything you guys like to talk about? I see there's 4 of you on there, so yeah, pick a topic, or any questions or any suggestions or anything you guys like to talk about. Let me know. You know, that's just regular. Yeah, all of them are. I always put a link in the description. You can get them. All my books are on Amazon. They're all in ebook format too. So if you're trying to, if you don't want, what I mean, so you can get, of course, I set the prices as low as possible, because I'm not Stephen King, I'm not Daniel Steele, so I set the prices as low as possible. All of them are in ebook format as well. So, okay, sorry. Here's somebody else again. So yeah, I always put a link in my description of my video, so you can go right to the link and get them. There's Mrs. Hughes again. She's a ragdoll, and she's spoiled. Yeah, sometimes. Well, back in the 80s when I was growing up, my dad knew a lot of people, and I knew a lot of people. So we would do, like, in wrestling, they have that they call that tape trading. We would do disc trading, and like somebody would say, "Hey, you got this, I got this cool game, check it out." And they would, we would exchange discs and stuff. So, and back in those days, a game like Sopwith, you could fit like sometimes 3 or 4 games on a disc, because I mean, the floppy ones, and you could fit a lot of fun games on there. I mean, a lot of the little games, but I mean, I played that Sopwith game for hours. Copy Party, exactly. Yeah, Copy Party, exactly. And because back then, copying stuff wasn't hard. Well, it depends. Because I mean, how many of you guys have those Commodore 64 games that you like get off Archive or somewhere like that, and it says this has been cracked by, and it gives the guy's phone number, and like you would, I don't know why you would tell people your phone number if you cracked a game, or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, we would do copy parties. Those were fun too, because I mean, you get all kinds of crazy stuff from people in games you never heard of. In games a lot, like, for instance, another good example, I got Capture the Flag, which is really a fun game. I got that from, I don't know who I got that from. Again, same thing, it was a copy party. I got together with some guys, and someone had that, and that game's fun. That's the one where you're on the big grid and you're running, and you actually got to beat up the guy to put him in jail or make him, walk back. It's fun. I did a playthrough video years ago on it, but yeah, that's how I got Sopwith 2. Well, Sopwith 1 wasn't that good, but Sopwith 2, and God, what were some of them other games? That Tank Wars, that was a fun one too. So a few years ago, one of my students told me he actually downloaded that off of Xbox Live. I mean, off of Xbox. And he said, "Man, that game was old, but man, that game was fun." I said, "Oh yeah." Um, Trying to think of some of the other games I got from there because there was a bunch. I mean, we would just, like people would bring a bunch of discs or CDs, and you would just, copy them and or rip. So there was all kinds of stuff that we had on there back in the day. Yeah, God, that brings back a lot of memories. But then the worst part is, though, sometimes you'd have people that show up with a bunch of blank discs and wouldn't bring anything. They're like, "Oh, can I have a copy?" It's like, "Aren't you going to contribute?" No. So, but then they bring them real junky discs that you couldn't write to and stuff. Yeah, there's one dude named Phil. He brought like 17. He bought a big old bunch of like 20 discs, and didn't bring anything to share. And I'm like, dude. And so and it was funny. The discs were junk, and you couldn't write to them. I think those like those real bargain discs that the ones were like on like the cassette tapes too. Like you get a bunch of them, like the like a brick of cassette tapes, and they were junk. It was the same thing with those. But yeah, boy, that brings back a lot of memories. Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that with people, trading off games and stuff. So yeah, back then we had we were one of the few. We had we had a PC, and it had dual disc drives. So, and then this other girl I used to run with, Carol, she had dual disc drives. So it was great because like I got Temple of Apsha from her. I never did beat that game. Never had to play a lot of computer games. I didn't get very far on that game. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I just kind of like walked around a lot. I did not know what the hell was going on. I gotta try it again. I think it's one of those games that I need to try to replay. That when I was a kid, I didn't know what I was doing because I really wasn't that good. And I took somebody that was watching my channel said, "I gave you a thumbs down because you said you don't like RPG games." Well, I don't like. Oh, I'm not really into RPG games mostly because I'm not any good at them, except Pokemon, which is weird because I've played I played the classic Pokemon games like obsessively and I guess beat for a better mostly I guess, but I just never got into them. I was trying really hard to beat Earthbound because I have an EverDrive on my Super Famicom, and I was trying like crazy to play Earthbound, and I just couldn't get. I got after certain ways, and I couldn't get past. I couldn't get out of town where you're supposed to go meet the girl in the next town. I couldn't make it there because I kept getting jumped, and I'm like, this is getting so annoying. And I know people that have beaten it. I know people that are like obsessed with that game. So, but I haven't. I wasn't really that good. I did one RPG game I really did like was Heroes of the Lance, but also that's because I love the Dragonlance books too. So. And then what was that other one? And then I have it. I haven't tried it yet. It's about Drizzt Do'Urden. It's called what is the name of the city where the dark elves came from? But anyway, it's set there. I got it. It was freeware, and it was a freeware I got off myabandonware.com, I think, or maybe I bought it. I don't remember, for a couple bucks on Steam, and I haven't messed with it. I did a little bit. It's gonna bug me too. What is the name of that? I just hate when I can't remember stuff. Oh, Menzoberranzan. Yeah, I think that was the name of the game. Thank you. Yeah, Menzoberranzan. It's a PC. I think it's a DOS RPG game. Yeah, thank you, Menzoberranzan. So yeah, I have it, and I kind of like booted it up to make sure it worked, and that's about as far as I got. So, but I'm gonna have to give that a try too. Just sometimes there's not enough time in the day to do the gaming, but with being off work, it's just when I feel up to it because I'm on short-term disability. So when I feel up to it, I'll play some of those. I'll have to try some of those. But I've got such a long to-do list. So. Also, another thing, a couple people have asked me, like, why didn't you play Xbox games? And because I don't like Xbox. Okay, so if that's going to lose me some subscribers or whatever that see this later, I don't give a shit. I don't like Xbox. I don't like the controller. I just never cared for it. But, and this is a big but, if they release, and I want this to go on record, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If they release a playable build of the Xbox game of Big Comfy Couch, I will get an Xbox 360 or an Xbox. I get an Xbox 360, but they have to release a playable build of the prototype of Big Comfy Couch. When they do that, I will get an Xbox, and only then. Now I have an emulator, and take it easy with that tail. But the only game I have for the emulator is the Chucky game. And God, that file is huge. It's kind of cool if you get a chance to play it. Grab an Xbox emulator. It's kind of cool, I guess. It was like not very long. Much of it was done. I think that's probably why. But yeah, I tried getting some Xbox games just to try it, and God, those files are like huge. So, okay, now you're up there so everyone can see you. All right. Anything? Anything? Like I said, you guys just go ahead and we'll talk about what you guys want to talk about. So, but like I said, I found a couple cool games that I have. What was the one? Oh, I got this interesting one. One of the people I watch on YouTube, because I don't watch this gaming channel, is Stephanie Sue. Love her. She is okay. I like her a lot. But anyway, she talked about a game. Let me find. It's one of those adult games. I think it caused a lot of controversy. Let me see what it's called. I just got it. Yandere. Yeah, it's called Yandere Simulator. It's dark. Yeah, it's real fucked up too. It's about somebody who is a girl that's like obsessed with some guy. She's a stalker kind of game. It's dark. But of course that's going to go on my Patreon channel because I don't want to put that on the main one. So but I downloaded it and I got like an hour's worth of footage and I'm like, holy shit. When I say a game's fucked up, it is, because but I got, like I said, a lot of stuff there I'm going to do on Patreon if I can hopefully get more people. I mean, I don't think asking $1 a month is asking a lot, but it is what it is. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's called, let me see. Let me type it in there. What's it called again? Let's see. Okay, yeah, Yandere Simulator. It's free, and Yandere is Japanese. I think it's a Stephanie Sue said it's a combination of like in love but sad or something. It's Japanese slang. Oh boy, yeah, it's one of them real controversial games. Not on the level of Ray Play, but it's close. Yeah, and I played that too, just because when I hear about a game, I just want to try it once. I hear about it. Don't tell me about a game because I'm going to try it out. I don't care. Like I said, there have been all kinds of crazy shit, and I've got some real crazy shit that I'm going to put like on a dark, like I said, on disturbing games too. But that's going to go on Patreon. Like this last year's Christmas special is only on Patreon. That's where I did some dark Christmas games. But like I got that Jaws game where you actually get to play Jaws. That's so cool. You like snatch people off the boats and wreck shit. What's that called? I got that too. What's it? Is Jaws something? Give me a second here. I got all this stuff on my flash drive. I got a really cool 3 terabyte drive my wife got me. What's it called? Jaws Unleashed. Yeah. Also, that's free. Give that a try if you get a chance. That's fun. Just being Jaws, because usually, like in some of the other Jaws, you're trying to kill Jaws. Now this one, you get to be Jaws. So that was fun. I know I'm not right, but yeah. Also, I got another cool game I'm gonna do on games based on TV shows. I got I'm gonna do I got a really cool I found because Twin Peaks game. Remember that show? There was a really cool like PC game. I don't know if the guy's done much more work on it, but it's got some really. It's pretty cool, and I've got some good footage down from that as well. If you're a fan of the show, I like the first season of Twin Peaks. I didn't see it when I was a kid because when that show came out, I was in high school. No, I was in college, and I didn't have time for like anything between all the stuff I was doing in college. So, but the first season was good, and that's all I'll say. Also, I know we're on the subject of new games. The Snufkin game is really good. Those of you that are Moomin fans, and judging by the numbers, we got some Moomin fans on here. That Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley, that's a cool game. You know, you don't have to be a Moomin fan to like it, but it helps. And if you're not a Moomin fan, check out Moomin. I love Moomin. It's great. It's just sad sometimes the cool stuff that other parts of the world get that we don't get, like Asterix. I love Asterix too. But I got a few, like I said, other ones here. I'm looking at my list of stuff. There was another one. I gotta go through. See, I had to unplug my drive where I got my where I got all my game footage. I had to unplug that drive because for some reason this computer only has like 3 USB ports. I'm also going to do it on the different, the fan versions of Polybius. Oh yeah, it's. I wish it was an Eraserhead game. Oh fuck yeah. Oh hey cousin. Yeah, like I said, nice to see my cousin, the multi-instrumentalist, the Tom Scholl of our family. Man, it's just like my cousin. This is the guy here who picks up an instrument and he learns it. Yeah, hell of a musician there. Like I said, he's like Tom Scholl from Boston. The multi-instrumentalist. What was I saying now? I'm gonna check a message here real quick. Excuse me a second. Okay. Nope. I just thought it was something important. Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool. It's actually it's a work in progress. I don't know. Let me check real quick while I'm here. Twin Peaks game. No, they haven't done any updates to it since August of last year. So I don't think they're even. Yeah. So again, it's a PS1 style Twin Peaks game. I could probably put the link up here. You can get it on itch.io. Put that up here if you guys want to give that a try, because it's not a bad game. If you're into the show, you'll probably enjoy it. Let me put that up there. Put that link up here for you guys. There we are. Yeah, so if you guys want to give that a try, it's kind of cool. It's a neat game if you're into if you enjoyed the show. It's pretty cool. It's called Twin Peaks Into the Night. It's like a PS1 type game. It's got those graphics from back then. It's a neat game. I think they got the. I'm looking here to see if there's been any updates, and they said nope. The last one in demo. Thank you for nope. It didn't look like there's been any updates for a long time. So I don't know. Maybe they lost interest. It happens. I've played some. I've played some games before where like people like put out demos and then they just like didn't do anything and they just kind of stopped. Yeah, my daughter's big into that anime Hitalia, and there's a bunch of fan Hitalia game. There's a couple official, but they're in Japanese. But there's a lot of people that use RPG Maker and made some Hitalia games, and some of them they just like stopped. And I can understand that because I for a while was working on a game on using RPG Maker. It's a lot of work. I give credit to anybody that makes games, homebrew. I give them all the kudos. That's why I like to showcase people's work on here because it's so much work. I just basically got burned out on it. I kind of stopped, when I was working on it, but Yeah, because it's a lot of work. Oh man, yeah. So I give credit to anybody who takes the time to work on to make their own game, you know, because it's so much work and time involved, and so I give all the credit. Not that I know of, no. Not that I know of. There's this one guy. He makes, I forget what the guy's name is. He makes games of like not real games. Like he made, I forgot the guy's name. Again, it slips my mind. I'm not good with names like I used to be. This one dude, he made games of like games for movies. Like he made a Last Starfighter game. He made like a Tron game, and he made a game that was featured in Tron. He made what was that one movie Nightmares. There was a game there called Bishops. I'm really showing my age there, but he actually made some of those, and there's shareware on his site. I don't remember what that guy's name is, but he had some pretty cool stuff on there. I got a bunch of, not all of them work, but yeah, because he had Last Starfighter, which is really cool because they never really made a real proper Last Starfighter game, which would be cool if they did. I mean, he did, and it's pretty cool. But you know, I mean, the prototypes that are out there are, you know, they're okay. Because like the one because many of you know, Solaris was originally for Atari 2600. Solaris was originally supposed to be a tie-in to Last Starfighter, and then what was that one for Atari 8 computer that was supposed to be a Last Starfighter tie-in, and then it became Star Raiders 2. Yeah, so but of course you can get the prototypes how they were the original prototypes and check it out. But yeah, I know, and it's funny because I just watched that movie again a couple years ago because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. We went to the theaters to see it, and I said, "Man, I wonder if this holds up." It does. It still holds up. It's too bad they never made that game because, man, I love that movie when I was a kid, and it still does. Flight of the Navigator? No, not that I know of, unless it's a fan made game. Because you know, Disney. I think woke Disney has kind of disowned that movie. I don't even think that's on Disney Plus. You know, yeah, Logan's Run would be. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm glad to find somebody else that loved that movie because like I love that movie. My brother-in-law does. My wife doesn't like it that much, but oh yeah, I've seen that movie like 100 times. Yeah, that also would have made. That's a video I should do too, like with Red, a top 10 movies that would have made good games. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. I better write that down before I forget because that's a good idea, and I'll put that on there. Yeah, you know, Logan's Run, Flight of the Navigator. God, I saw that when I was a kid. Phantasm. Oh hell yes. Oh yeah, that would be awesome, dude. But you know, horror games are weird because there was a couple of them like they were supposed to make a Hellraiser game. There's a whole story behind that for NES. I don't even know if that was true. I think it was just somebody. I think that was just one of those things like Polybius. Also, I'm gonna do that too. I have several different versions of Polybius. That's gonna be a whole nother video. Check out the PS4 one though. That is fucking awesome. The Polybius fan game that was made for the VR on PS4. Wow, that is awesome, dude. I finally beat it, and luckily I was recording when I did it too, so I got that footage I'm gonna put up there. Yeah, Phantasm would have been a cool game. Of course, they made Texas Chainsaw. I haven't tried the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I saw, you know, I'm not really good at survival games. I panic and I like give my position away. So I don't know if I'd be any good. But I've seen the previews and seen other gamers uh, play the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre PC game. It looks really good, but like I said, I would probably suck at it so bad. I don't think I'm probably not even going to bother. Plus, most people that watch my channel anyway don't really like when I do more modern games. Like a while back, I did Just Cause, and like the viewership on it was like, so it's like okay then. But people like Stick It to the Man. But that's also a great game. If you have a PS4 and you're looking for like an old school kind of game with a new feel, check out Stick It to the Man. That is an awesome game for PS4. But yeah, but then you think that sometimes like some of the games, movies that they were gonna make games for, like what was that one? Oh, man, I am just drawing a damn blank today. The Entity. Yeah, they were gonna make a freaking game of the Entity about a movie about a chick, about a woman who gets raped by a ghost. Like, oh yeah, that's a great movie to make a game of. The Planet of the Apes game was good though. Well, I mean the one for 2600 that wasn't released, that was actually pretty cool. And also don't forget they were planning on making a game tie-in for 9 to 5. I always wonder what that would be. I thought about that for a while, and honestly, the best I came up with, I thought, oh yeah, well yeah, but it was still a fun game though. I liked it, and there were a lot of Pac-Man knockoffs if you think about it. So I thought it was a cool game. I did a video on those too. I had all the Aliens games up to a point, like the one for Commodore 64, and of course the arcade game, which doesn't look anything like Ripley. She's got blonde hair. And then I liked Aliens 3, the one that they did for NES. I liked it. Some other people don't like because they see LJN on it. They're like, oh, it's going to suck. Whatever. Yeah, like I said, there's been a couple, like I was saying, I thought 9 to 5, I always thought, like, if I was going to make it, I would have made it like a Tapper clone, except for you're throwing coffee or something. I don't know. I mean, I can't believe, but 20th Century Fox, they were just, I think, throwing shit at a wall and see what stuck, because it was actually advertised. If you look on the catalog that came with the games, it was on there on the back. It said 9 to 5. I'm like, huh? But anyway, but then you had, like, I thought Megaforce was a lame movie. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I agree. Also, if you ever played the Commodore 64 version of the first Alien, it was kind of the same way. That was really kind of spooky too. I mean, it was like it was a first person like RPG. What was I saying now? Oh yeah, like Megaforce. That movie was so damn lame, but the game was good. But also it didn't make my top 10. It kind of just missed it when I did 20th Century Fox games because, yeah, Megaforce was like I said, great game. I watched the movie and I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, Crawl. That's another movie that didn't hold up too well. I tried watching that a few years ago and I loved it when I was a kid, and I saw the movie again. I'm like, okay. But the game was good. Both of them, the arcade game and the 2600 game was really good. So, and of course they made like Friday the 13th game. I beat it. The one for NES. I'm not going to probably talk about it because it was this. Yeah. Now there's a really cool. Somebody did a WAD for Doom of that, and it's okay. Yeah, was there ever a black hole? No, I think because that movie was such a bomb, I think that movie almost bankrupted Disney, if memory serves. I remember seeing it as a kid, and I didn't like the movie that much, but I remember they had remember the books on the book, and it came with a book and a record. I remember they had one of that, and they had a storybook. But I think Disney lost their asses on Black Hole. I didn't really care for it myself. I thought that ending was kind of bizarre. I'm like, okay. It wasn't. Yeah, I didn't think it was a great. I think they were just trying to jump on the whole space bandwagon. So I didn't care for it that much. But there's people I know that really did. I guess I don't know. Not really one of my go-to movies. But yeah, like I said, I got that. So that Starfighter. That one's okay. But yeah, there's been a couple, and then like I said, there's been some movie games where you just kind of look at you made a game of that. Okay. But then, of course, it's funny how just about every game with Arnold sucks. And know the game Command. For those of you that aren't familiar, the game Commando was not a tie-in to the movie. But well, guys, it's getting on an hour, and I think I'm going to call it a night. But again, I want to thank everybody for. Yeah, that one guy I know, what's his name? Dr. Clue. He and I are going to be collabing on a new game. I'm not going to give too much away. We're working on a game. together. We worked on. He helped me out with my Moomin game and stuff. He made a hack of the Star Trek game and made it a Battlestar Galactica. I don't know why they never made any games of that. That to me is strange. I know they had some board games. I know they had board games and they had toys, but I'm not sure why they never made any games of that. Now that kind of that weird handball game they played, there's like games that are similar to that. You know, that handball game that like Apollo and them played. There's some video games that are kind of similar to that, but I don't know why they never made a Battlestar Galactica game, because I don't remember how long that. I thought that show was still on the air back. Let me check. Yeah, let's see. See when that came out, because Battlestar. Oh, they did make a game. Takes you to the heart of the first Cylon War. Oh, it's on Steam. Okay, $40. Yikes. Okay, so they did make one. It's for Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. Looks kind of neat, though, from what I see, but I'm not paying $40 for a game. Let's see, Xbox, Authentic Battlestar Galactica Experience for Xbox. It's called Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, a turn-based strategy. Ugh, forget it. Never mind. I thought it was going to be one of them ones where I was like, flying around and stuff. I don't like turn-based strategy games. I don't care. I hate those. Also, again, because I'm not very good at it. Although that one was kind of neat. There was one that I reviewed on my Rare and Valuable, because all those games for the NES, those turn-based strategy games are valuable, I think, because nobody bought them. But yeah, I was like, but yeah, that would have been kind of I think that's another thing that they missed out on. Okay, so it started. Oh man, I didn't know that. It only ran for one season. Okay, created aired on ABC Network from September. Wow, it didn't run very long. Not very long at all, huh? And then that really horrible remake that I didn't even bother watching. It ran for several seasons, which I don't understand that. I mean, a girl Staubach, give me a break. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. There's been some opportunities. I mean, and there's like I said, there's like games that they did make of movies, and you're just kind of like, huh? But like the Total Recall game, I didn't like it that much. Now, when I was a kid, that movie went over my head, the Total Recall. But then I saw it a few years ago, and it was pretty cool. Also, it was nice, that one alien with the 3 boobs. That was kind of awesome. But yeah, it's funny sometimes how they miss the boat on some games. I mean, or potentially good games. So wow, I can't believe that show only ran one season. Wonder why it didn't last long. Series. Let's see. The show also spawned a media franchise, comic, theme park, games, reboot series. Yeah, the reboot ran for 5 seasons. Wonder why it got canceled for. And legal troubles. Oh, that would do it. 20th Century Fox sued Universal for plagiarism, copyright infringement, unfair competition. Oh, yeah, that would do it. And George Lucas. Okay, so that may explain why the show didn't last long. Okie dokie. Yeah, lawsuits do tend to do that. So, but anyway, guys, it's been really great talking to you guys. I know there's going to be some folks that are going to watch this post live. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for the subscribers. I never thought I would get this far. 600 is great. And the numbers keep going up, and I really, really appreciate you guys. Oh yeah. I really appreciate you too, sir. It's we've come a long way together here, and you've stuck by through a lot, and I really appreciate you and everybody else. Like I said, thank you so much for the views, for the positive feedback, for sometimes when you guys come out and tell me, this sucked, you shouldn't have done that, or something like that. I appreciate it, guys. It's great to I get messages every day from people saying, I watch your channel with my grandpa, and my dad and I watch your channel, and it brings back a lot of memories. I love getting messages like that. It really means a lot. You know, granted, there's channels that have a lot more subscribers and stuff than me, but you know, I try to answer every message I get, or at least like every video, every message I get from you guys, and it really means a lot. It really does. You know, it's great to get the feedback from people, and it was great talking to you guys. You know, I'd like to have more, but you know, maybe some other time. You know. Smitty, the Chinese American dragon. Yeah, he's here. He's back there in the box. You know, he's not going anywhere. But well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do after I get done with this NES unit. I'm gonna do the Sega Master System, and since he's the Sega guy, I'll have him on. Okay, I want to, you know, my most loyal subscriber. Yeah, I'll bring back Smitty. Don't worry. I'll help him with the Sega after I get done with the NES. I'm going to do Sega Master System, and then when I do Sega Genesis, he's got to be there. And then when I do the Sega Naomi Dreamcast, and you know, he's got to be there because he's the Sega guy. So, but again, like I said, guys, thank you so much for the communication, for the stuff, for the subscriptions, feedback, the views. It means a lot to me because it's been a lot of fun doing this for 5 years, and let's hope we can keep this going for another 5 years. So, well, until next time, you know what I got to say. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time, be strong, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and above all, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and stop hate of all kinds. See you guys soon. Bye for now.